Live in 3, 2, 1, 0. Greetings, superior beings. Greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television. So this broadcast is about Skull and Bones, their Third World War plans, John Kerry of Skull and Bones also. And first I will start with ways to prevent World War III over Iran and North Korea and in general. And also later on I'll cover the now President Donald Trump being member of Skull and Bones, according to one website out there. And yeah, to prevent World War III and create the cure against aging, control the 7 factors that control aging, and create a perfect society in which we all will live happily, eternally, a normal timeline instead of a Luciferian timeline in which 93% of the world's global population dies. That's what it's about. So let's first look at the title of this video. Skull and Bones, World War III, John Kerry, GG, Global Gov, Directed Energy Weapon Torture. Oh yeah, I also want to talk more about directed energy weapon torture they've subjected me to. So it's possible that that's done by Skull and Bones, former President George Bush. Under George Bush the torture started. And I can also cover that video of that student that got an admission from John Kerry that he is a member of Skull and Bones. They are, again, messing with the dropped frames. I don't know how they do that. It was working. You can see it in the previous videos as well. There were no problems. But sometimes it can happen when the CPU gets overloaded. But that percentage is already going down, so it might work properly, though I don't even have these other programs on at the moment, so it's weird that there are dropped frames. Okay, let's start with the speech engine. It's only a short piece about how to prevent that world war.
There have been numerous cases of healthcare serial killers, HSKs, as they are preferably known, around the world. Charles Cullen in New Jersey, who may have killed over 400 patients within 16 years as a nurse across 9 hospitals. Kimberly Scenes, also in America, who murdered 5 patients in Texas by injecting them with bleach. Watch my YouTube video, Healthcare Serial Killers, Doctors and Nurses Who Kill Serial Killing Doctors. Depopulation warning for universal peace. To prevent World War III and create universal peace. 1. Leaders are advised to avoid attacking any countries, especially innocent civilians, and declare a ceasefire when possible. 2. Promote or mention universal peace. 3. Make weed tea, eat weed or smoke a peace pipe if absolutely necessary. 4. Be prepared, radiological water filter, storable food, just in caves. Solving Iran situation. To prevent a world war over Iran, Iranian leaders are advised to allow inspections in all of their facilities as agreed upon in the nuclear agreement. American leaders are advised to avoid any type of attack on Iran to avoid a world war with its ally Russia. American leaders are advised to first have an agreement with ally countries of Iran before even thinking about bombing the facilities that do not allow inspections to avoid the Third Jesuit World War, mutually assured destruction, and a 7-year nuclear winter which would be colder than the next ice age. Iran cannot pose any threat to Israel with its Iron Dome and other missile shields. Israel has nuclear weapons which it may use to retaliate. Keep missile shields ready. Solving North Korea situation. To prevent a world war over North Korea, the North Korean leaders are advised not to attack any country, especially not the super peaceful Guam. American and other leaders are advised not to attack them if North Korean leaders would decide to attack Guam or any other nation, which would only kill innocent civilians, which some leaders may actually be trying to achieve. Extermination of its own citizens to depopulate Earth. but to keep their missile shields ready so any nuclear attack can be warded off and the innocent civilians and elite are saved and a perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally is created. This is far wiser than obliterating ourselves, the human race. We are not overpopulated in reality, so don't believe the hype. Get rid of the people responsible for the World War, possibly the leader of the Jesuits, Adolfo Nicolas. Instead of the innocent civilians they want you to kill, take over, end the war, create the non-fictional utopian society ASAP to speed up finding ways to control the 7 factors that control aging during our lifetimes. They are always the ones to tell you who your enemies are, but they're never the ones to fight and to die. From the song Life's in the Balance, this would be the 3rd Jesuit World War. Watch out. henrymacaw.com
Henry Macadamia. So this has controlled opposition Jew written all over it or not, you decide.
Donald Trump, Illuminati Jew, December 29, 2015 at Trump _Crossbones_thumb, 2. GIF, left, Donald and his father Fred with Masonic, Brotherhood of Death hand over hand skull and bones, X, signal, the sign, or letter X, has a long history of use in the ancient mystery religions, in apostate Judaism, in Freemasonry, and in the occult. The Illuminati elite use it to this day to symbolize key phenomena and mark significant events.
So, what do I think is wrong with this? You can see here that this seems, this logo, Skull and Crossbones logo, which may be a Masonic apron or something that looks blue on the other side or something like that. Anyway, it seems to have been cut out here. You can see that it over here, that's where the border of the apron is, but here it seems like a piece of wall was also cut out and it was placed on this wall, and these Nazis were also later edited in. And the people stand like this with their hands. Does not really prove they are Skull and Bones, does it? So I mean, it may still be true, there may be controlled opposition, it may be to make us believe that they are not Skull and Bones. I'm just saying what I think or what they make me think with synthetic telepathy.
A lot of people who should know better, like the 2 Kevins, Barrett and McDonald, think Donald Trump is some kind of savior. Barrett even thinks Trump will bring the perpetrators of 9/11 to trial. The article below reveals Donald Trump is a long-standing member of the satanic Masonic Jewish conspiracy that afflicts society. Donald Trump is nothing less than a sideshow and a counterfeit medieval medicine man offering cheap miracle and illusionary fixes for America's problems here and abroad. Jewish opposition is designed to give Trump credibility, as in the banker coups of 1932. Illuminati credo: a Jew was not created as a means for some other purpose, he himself is the purpose, since the substance of all divine emanations was created only to serve the Jews. Chabad Lubavitch leader, the great Rebbe Rabbi Menahem Mendel Schneerson. Donald Trump, the only candidate that's going to give real support to Israel is me, said Donald Trump. The rest of them are all talk, no action. They're politicians. I've been loyal to Israel.
So no divine presence was created, there is no God, there is no hereafter. Keep it real. And the voice of God weapon of the satanic pedophiles is as far from holy as it can be, basically.
From the day I was born, my father, Fred Trump, was loyal to Israel before me. 51. Donald Trump, The Devil's Run for the White House, excerpts by henrymacaw.com. Donald's father Fred moved in the circle of a corrupt, powerful New York political fixer and power broker attorney, Abraham Bunny Lindenbaum, or Bunny moved in Fred C. Trump's circles. They were more than just client and attorney. The two were joined at the hip. Bunny's first retainer came from Fred C. 27. Fred and Bunny were political insiders of Masonic Tammany Hall through Brooklyn's Madison Club. 28. Tammany Hall, also known as the Society of Saint Tammany, the Sons of Saint Tammany, or the Columbian Order, was a New York City Democratic political machine entangled and mired in racketeering, corruption, graft and patronage. 29. Bunny Sandy. JPG, Illuminati, that is Satanist, Jewish power brokers, Bunny Lindenbaum and son Sandy. Don didn't go into how or why his father had been so loyal to Israel since the day he was born, 1946, but his close personal association with Bunny Lindenbaum may provide some answers. Bunny Lindenbaum was an Orthodox and fanatical Zionist Jew. He was president of the Brooklyn Jewish Community Council, and the Brooklyn Jewish Center, BJC. The BJC is connected directly to United Synagogue of America, the World Zionist Congress, United Jewish Appeal, National Jewish Welfare Board, and the Mossad. 52. Bunny Lindenbaum, and his son, Sandy Lindenbaum, were high priests of the secret ultra-Orthodox Lubavitch movement and the Educational Instituta Olai Torah, the flagship school of Chabad, Lubavitch. It owns the BJC edifice. 53. Basically, the Chabad Lubavitch movement is connected with the ancient Babylonian Talmudic Pharisaic universal Noahide laws of Nimrodic god Baal. The Babylonian Talmudic high priests of the order of the Pharisaic sun god worshippers of Baal are known as the mystical Hasidic Chabad Lubavitch. 54. Lindenbaum.gif, left, Trump's lawyer, Sandy Lindenbaum, Rabbi Louis Finkelstein, the head of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America in 1943, writing in the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia, Pharisaism became Talmudism. The spirit of the ancient Pharisee survives unaltered. When the Jew studies the Talmud, he is actually repeating arguments used in the Palestinian academies. 55. In other words, the Talmudic Lubavitchers are reborn Pharisees. Many Pharisees belong to the Jewish occult group, the Satanic Cabal. 56. According to the Chabad Lubavitch radical theology, the non-Jew infidels must be exterminated, adding may the name of the wicked rot. Among them was Jesus of Nazareth. They claim that while the Jews are the chosen people and were created in God's image, the Gentiles do not have this status and are effectively considered subhuman. 57. The Chabad are allowed to exist as a powerful international force because they serve Israel in two ways, working with Mossad in intelligence and criminal activities, and a source of extremist ideology to fuel Zionist crimes. It was also a scheme to permanently alienate, divide and polarize the races. 58. Bunny Lindenbaum. BJC's United Jewish Appeal assisted Jewish refugees arriving in the United States. 59. His BJC's World Zionist Congress collaborated with the Nazis to allow a limited number of Jews to emigrate to other countries. 60. Trump Lindenbaum families tied to civic corruption and scandals. Bunny Lindenbaum presided over New York Major Robert Ferdinand Wagner, Jr.'s City Planning Commission. 44. Mayor Wagner's mayoral administrations from 1954 to 1965 had been for the most part of the Tammany Hall rackets. 45. 46. In 1954, scandalous Fred C. was the subject of a Senate Banking, Housing and Urban Affairs Committee investigation for being involved in widespread corruption in the Federal Housing and Urban Development Department, HUD. Trump Clinton.jpg, Trump Clinton's longtime partners in crime, Perot got Bill elected. Lindenbaum and scandalous Fred C. Trump were clandestinely using HUD and state funds to build a Haven and Jewish power base in Brooklyn for Eastern European mystical Hasidic Chabad Lubavitch Jews at enormous and substantial profits at the taxpayers' expense. Today, Chabad is among the world's largest Hasidic groups, and it is the largest Jewish religious organization. The vast network of Chabad institutions have placed the movement at the forefront of Jewish communal life today. 65. A spokesman for the Chabad Lubavitch Hasidic movement says the sect is Zionist in its support for Israel. 66. Fred and Bunny were secretly working with SS Baron Otto Albrecht Alfred von Bolschwing, Israeli Defense Force, IDF, Mossad and the newly formed CIA. However, Bunny Lindenbaum and his father ran the largest and most costly corporate welfare fraud embezzlement system in this nation's history. Primo Don is a product of that corporate welfare breadline straight out of state and federal treasuries. His shit don't stink. Any notion that Primo Donna Donald is a self-made billionaire is a fallacy and grand delusion. Donald Trump's Jewish background. Donald's great-grandparents, Christian Johannes Trumpf and Katharina Kober, had sons, Christian Trumpf and Christ. 16. Christian was Sleazy Freddy's father, by his name. Christ may have converted to Judaism. Nevertheless, Donald's great-grandmother, Katharina Kober, may have been Jewish. 17. What we know is that the surname Kober is German and Jewish, Ashkenazic, from a derivative of the personal name Jacob or Yaakov, German and Jewish, Ashkenazic, from German Kober basket, Middle High German Kober, hence a metonymic occupational name for a basket maker or perhaps a nickname for someone who carried a basket on his back. 18. The Kallstadt, Pfalz, Rhineland-Palatinate area where they lived in Germany comprised the Jewish communities of Mainz, Speyer and Worms became the center of Jewish life during medieval times. 19-related, Trump member of the club Zionists used Trump to fix another election. Jewish ties. Trump's old GOP candidates. Trump donated $100,000 to Hillary. Nazis support Donald, so should you. Look at Ukraine. Nazis and Zionists have always been aligned. Look at pick at top, Webster Tarpley. Trump's art, posing as reformer without attacking power. First comment from Kevin Barrett. Hi Henry. Thank you for the very informative article on Trump's Illuminati background. This information is new to me, but don't lump me with Kevin McDonald, who really does like Trump. I don't. I think Trump may be using 9/11 as a political weapon against Jeb Bush, and to a lesser extent against the neocon-supported other candidates. All of them except Rand Paul are owned by neocons. This gives truth seekers an opportunity to push 9/11 truth into the political conversation and keep right on rubbing the perps' noses in their foul crime. That's what I'm trying to do. Calling for people to disrupt Trump's speeches hardly equates to considering him a savior. And maybe you didn't notice that I fired Jim Fetzer from False Flag Weekly News due to Jim's maniacal, irrational support of Trump, and the pathologically rude way he expressed it. On that show I said Trump is a candidate for execution for treason, so I'm not a Trump supporter, wouldn't vote for him in a million years, and definitely don't consider him a savior, more like a dajjal, but maybe one that can be turned against the
Oh really? I support Trump.
other dajjals, to some extent, to weaken them all. I'm sure you realize that my celebration of Trump's positive response to Martin Hill is not going to help Trump politically, quite the opposite, but it does help keep the 9/11 truth meme in circulation, which keeps the bad guys, including the whole corporate media, etc., cringing. Glenn writes. Donald Trump is nothing less than a sideshow and a counterfeit medieval medicine man offering cheap miracle and illusionary fixes for America's problems here and abroad. I've been shouting this shite from the rooftops for months now. Anybody, and by God there are plenty who cannot see through this phony baloney. Plastic banana good time rock and roller is a sucker and a fool. Does anyone think this clown made his millions by being a square shooter and playing by the rules? Give me a freaking break. Any American who is not too proud to jump on his knees and give a good slurp in on a kosher meat stick is not an American. He is a GD sellout and a traitor to this nation. Yet we have millions of illiterate neocon Christian Zios who hang on every lie and half-truth that makes it through the lips of this another Jewish puppet. As a survivor and supporter of the Ross Perot fiasco, I can tell you this is nothing more than the old tried and true split the party vote to get Hitler elected. We've been down this road once or twice before and look where it has gotten us. We still have a Federal Reserve, never-ending wars, a federal bureaucracy that grows daily, and constitutional rights that disappear every time we turn around. We are not free Americans who elect mighty leaders, we are slaves who cast a vote for the new boss in hopes he's not like the old boss. Home. HenryMcCaw.com.
Hollywood makes a movie about an ex-gay. Every veil shall be lifted. As if this is news or whatever. I've made it my life's mission to destroy the United States. I hate this country and I hate all of the people in it. George Soros, Newsweek, 1979, supposedly said that. It's a quote. And I think there are Americans that do take the constitutional oath seriously, etc. The Constitution. Oh, now I'm hearing a sort of high, sometimes it happens, high ringing in my right ear. It's rare. Okay, this may be pretty interesting.
Focus on the Fed, by Tony B., HenryMcCaw.com. All the billions of words about Trump are meaningless. Unless and until people are willing to actually think, which means getting outside of the box created by the world on our criminals to corrupt their brains, there will only be more confusion. To understand the U.S. political situation, people must be willing to understand that Americans do not vote for the president, nor for many other high offices when not convenient to our owners. At least one of these arrogant bastards, several decades ago, make the unguarded, because true, statement, "Americans are too stupid to elect the president, we decide WHO will be president." Until you face this simple fact, you cannot understand politics, because you are forever searching for what exactly it was that got this person the vote and not that person. Note carefully the following: in this country, and undoubtedly most others, the parties are now owned outright by the Rothschild cabal seated in its City of London. No one can be named on a ballot whom they do not own. All viable candidates are their prostitutes. All, no exceptions. Is everyone too brain dead to see that no matter who is put in what office, the direction of the politics never changes? It is no minor detail that Hillary had been promised this office by that cabal for decades. Have all forgotten that early on in the last election this woman, who could not fill a small room with supporters, was being handed a fake landslide victory? The lying media was handing her states almost before the voting began. As opposition to her, the tactic decided upon, and publicly acknowledged, had been someone who would spout right-wing fanaticisms as, believing their own deceitful lies or else their success in selling them. The people would surely be turned off by this noise. It should be obvious how that succeeded from the huge audiences Trump attracted, while Hillary had to resort to depraved but highly promoted entertainment to fill a room. Then there was an odd election day happening. Someone or some group, real unsung heroes in some ways, began dumping to the public extremely damaging information about Hillary and company involvement in child trafficking, child sex, child sacrifice to the devil. All very true. This leading up the ladder of world control, not down it. To an extent that the cabal, the central promoter of this satanic hell, realized they may all shortly be hanging from lamp posts in their various nations if they did not stem the exposures which they had to know concerned their no one satanic choice as president. They were actually forced to change their choice, a first since they grabbed power. Then there was a sudden reversal of the media vote coverage, and those states so happily handed to Hillary were grudgingly pulled back and became not sure and finally given to Trump. So what actually happened? Did the people vote for Trump? Well, maybe, but that doesn't matter at all. What matters is that the cabal felt forced to dump their choice and put in their second-string prostitute. So what is all the constant blather about? True. From the campaign fanatical flight to Trump of the populace and flight from Hillary, Trump likely was the intended choice of probably 95% of the voters. But does it matter? He is owned by the same cabal that owns Hillary, etc. He will do as he is told. Until the cabal is eliminated, nothing will change for the better, period. Why waste time, energy and resources on a president, any president, who will never be your choice unless you work to get rid of the Rothschild cabal? The number one requirement for this to happen is to force your government to create and circulate real money as the nation's medium of exchange instead of the insane borrowing of non-existent credit from the Rothschild franchises such as the Federal Reserve, the real seat of the satanic power of this cabal.
Nothing about the Jesuits. Let's see if we can find the word Jesuit on the page. Nope. Check if there's anybody that thinks he's controlled the position shield. The digger for truth WordPress.com could also be controlled, the position, or even a CIA robot, but I doubt it. Digger for truth, helping the light overcome the darkness. Without darkness there cannot be any light. Without lies there can still be truth.
Shills and half-truthers, KK. Would that I could discover truth as easily as I can uncover falsehood. Cicero de Naturatiarum, 44 BC. This term refers to disinfo agents, those that propagate disinformation, deliberate propaganda, as opposed to misinformation, which is just wrong information spread by repeaters who are ignorant on the facts. Disinformation is sometimes referred to as counterintelligence. Shills are sometimes referred to as gatekeepers, K. Their purpose is to distract, deceive, disengage, discredit, disempower, K. All these people provide 85 to 95% truth and then once gained your trust, take you off in the wrong direction with nonsense such as shape-shifting reptilians, crop circles, Bigfoot, UFOs, Loch Ness Monster, etc. These are fabricated nonsense which should be avoided.
The flat earth. So in reality the earth is not flat, it's cubical. Otherwise you'd fall off.
There are of course UFOs, you may have even seen them yourself, but all the intensive searching for truth over the last 6-7 years tells me that they are man-made. These shills are extremely dangerous to the cause. They keep us contained in large disinfo nets to contain, diffuse, suppress and dissolve the truth. They keep potential truthers from looking at the Jew agenda, and all the time they are helping the elite Jews to kill time and therefore kill us, precious time we don't have. Many people have said to me, yeah, well, they do give a lot of good information out and they are helping people realize there is an agenda. I won't buy into this argument whatsoever. Yes, I know there are some of us who are able to escape this disinfo net, but we are small in numbers in relative terms, K. Anyone who stands in the way of truth, at any level, and does not actively propagate the truth they know and resist this tyranny at some level, is helping to create death, destruction and suffering. Therefore they are on the side of darkness and a traitor to humanity. Digger. The other purpose of these disagents is to keep us in this scared rabbit in the headlights mode. What can little old me do? They will bombard.
So I thought that's original. The Earth is cubical. Let's Google it, and then it won't find anybody claiming the Earth is cubical. And then I could have made the joke, see, they're hiding it. But now I see here the Earth is a cube proof. Of course I'm kidding, and you can overlook a bay. It's easy to prove the Earth is spherical. So they're trying to find people of low IQ that they can dupe, etc. But this mix of the lie that the Earth is flat was originally to hide that the Apollo moon landings are fake, that we never landed on the moon. You can see the original NASA video of the astronauts. That's the best evidence, the best proof we never landed on the moon, that the Apollo moon landings are fake. They are a hoax. They may have these flying saucers in Queen Maudland. And if they can teleport, it may be possible to do space travel, so that you don't fly at high speed through a little screw or some little rock, some little asteroid or whatever, which is definitely floating in space. Recently we've had these 20 falling stars an hour or something. Anyway, let's continue this interesting article about the controlled opposition shills, also known as gatekeepers. So they exist to prevent real resistance to their global government depopulation, etc. So they form fake controlled opposition to themselves to prevent any real opposition. A la the Lenin quote.
You with scary info which is to keep us feeling disempowered. They will bang on all day about the problems of the agenda. Even if K talks about Rothschild Zionism, he still keeps us thinking along the lines of the poor innocent victim Jews and those evil Nazis. This is pure 100% disinformation. Please see the amazing work of both http://www.zioncrimfactory.com and http://www.spingola.com.
So one way to recognize these scammers is the term they use the term debunked instead of arrested and investigated to prevent a trial, etc., because they really did these things. So they use debunked instead of evidence and proof, etc.
For a more accurate take on WW2 and those evil Nazis, another analogy is to try to view all of this truth-seeking like orienteering, in that we only need to be 1 or 2 degrees off course and we can easily miss our destination or target. So it matters not how much good information and accurate facts they are plying us with, because the point is they ultimately are keeping us away from finding the treasure.
Today, these Jesuits and Masons also control the judges with their death ray, hence a fair trial is impossible in relation to the previous thing I said. So they want to avoid mainstream media attention and big movement, real resistance, opposition from forming against their depopulation and shit they're doing. Against their directed energy weapon torture also. So I think we need that movement, and perhaps it's best not to have a leader because they can take us down with their directed energy weapons. So to have a revolving leader basically of our movement against depopulation, for universal peace, for the creation of a permanent cure against aging, and a perfect society in which maximum fulfillment will be bestowed upon every living organism.
None of these shills are outright saying IT's the juice, K. In my humble opinion, all these individuals are either shills or compromised half-truthers, K. Alan Watt waffles on for eternity. but dares not mention Jews in the whole conspiracy. Connects up with Alex Jones and his associates Prison Planet, etc. Very dangerous to truth. His wife and children are Jewish. Aggressive fear-based material. Comes out with real clangers such as the Arabs run Hollywood. http://alexjonesexposed.info/Alex Jones and Jewish sponsors / Anglin. http://www.renegadetribune.com/Scott Roberts St. Andre Anglin / Angelo Gage. These posts should be enough to make one's mind up. http://www.renegadetribune.com/Angelo Gage wants stop telling truth Jews http://www.renegadetribune.com/yes Jews really everything http://www.renegadetribune.com/Angelo Gage destroyed for promoting vaccines http://www.renegadetribune.com/power deflection lesson hypocrisy projection Anthony Hilder same old story, prattles on about the NWO/Illuminati and makes money from flogging his videos. Benjamin Fulford. Listen to audio below. Dr. Bill Deagle absolutely laughable material. Shill. Brian Jerish exposes common purpose and publishes his newspaper The UK Column, which is funded by Sheila Butler, who is the daughter of Lord Kitchener, who set up concentration camps in the Boer War, and Sheila funds the BNP. Never touches the kosher side. I have met Brian several times and chatted with him at length, in the early days before I was Jew-wise. Brian also has a Jewish woman working for him, Kate, who posts what I feel is relatively Islamophobic content. Is she another Jewish infiltrator? Does she filter his post? He also attended an award ceremony at a Scientology center in Sussex to receive an award for his efforts. I know somebody who witnessed this. Why on earth would anyone aware of this agenda attend such an event? Why would he accept an award? Surely it is not about this. Not only that, anyone even slightly aware of this agenda should be aware that Scientology is a mind control sect and would have no association with it. He also has been on the Alex Jones show. Of course this alone does not mean he is a shill, as perhaps he just wanted exposure of his work. However, I'm staggered he could not see through Jones. He also has had an interview with David. Again, this would not necessarily mean he is a shill. However, I feel it is important to observe who people associate with. https://diggerfortruth.wordpress.com/2012/09/27/10 reasons why I'm sure Brian Jerish is a shill / Charlie Veitch Jewish guy conditioning truthers to hug police officers, to love our adversaries in a new age fashion. He also now believes in the official 9/11 media story. Charlie Sheen half-truther and mate of Alex Jones. Christopher Ballin as Jeff Rentz. Linked up with Daryl Bradford Smith at one time and tried to sidetrack Daryl. David KKA Mr. Lizard. Please see my essay below. Synopsis. The main thing with Gez, you just have to look who he associates with. https://diggerfortruth.wordpress.com/2013/05/16/ not to be taken seriously / David Wilcock. Please listen to audio below. He is involved with the dodgy Project Camelot crowd. Donald Trump. Anyone with an ounce of discernment will not even consider Trump is going help resolve this agenda. This Jew stooge is nothing but distraction and false hope. Any idiots putting a scrap of hope with this controlled opposition should not be taken serious. Dylan Avery, Jewish producer of the film Loose Change, All Half-Truths. Eric Hufschmid, Jew who infiltrated Daryl Bradford Smith from http://www.iamthewitness.com. Eric von Phelps from Vatican Assassins, who blames the Vatican, Jesuits and Black Pope etc. for everything the Jews do, including writing the Protocols of Zion. If it wasn't so serious. Gerald Celente gives consistent inaccurate information regarding financial forecasts. never talks about Jewish usury all the time he discusses the financial markets. Quite incredible really. Glenn Greenwood, tribe member, acting as a disinfo agent. Gordon Duff simply insane. Dis agent, Henry Makoju, giving half-truths and distorted facts. Ian Crane ditto, does not touch the Jewish connection, despite skimming over Zionism. His son works for a think tank. J. Spear Williams propagates anti-Hitler rhetoric, claiming Hitler was a Zionist asset. Jack Bloodmore half-truth and disinfo. James Corbett from the Corbett Report. Same story as Gerald Celente really. Prototes his work. Jason Burma's Jewish producer of film Loose Change, full of half-truths. Jeffrance aka Mr. Hairdo, another egoist in the movement, propagating half-truths and disinfo. Jesse Ventura buddies up with Jones. Never mentions the J word in the whole conspiracy. Therefore has a TV program on conspiracies. Utter bollocks. Jim Mars again talks all the time about the NWO, but will never touch the J word. Jonathan K. Jew, total shill exposing his disinfo on September 11th. Jordan Maxwell mentions everything except the Jews. Goes along with Zechariah Sutchin's material of the Anunnakis. Corey Rowe, Jewish producer of Loose Change. The film is full of half-truths. Not one mention of Jewish involvement throughout it. Lindsay Williams, another shill boy.
I've thought about it, and the theory is that half-truths do not exist when you think about it. For example, even with glass that's half full. And you could argue it's never exactly half full or half empty. You'd have to count the molecules and stuff like that. But perhaps not even then. So then if you say it's half full or half empty, you could argue that it's both true, because it means the same thing. So then we can continue. But I am trying to get the truth level up, so if there's anything wrong, if you think... And also for fun, people can call Prologic999 on Skype to be live in this broadcast.
All waffle and no substance, just a gap filler. His favorite quote, "Get your pen and paper ready, take this date down." Luke Rodkowski from Warrakange. It's just one of those coincidences that he slips into every high-profile meeting again and again and again, always just happening to get a short few words from the top. I think he is Jewish. Max Kaiser think he is Jewish, gives in acute information and never ever mentions Jewish involvement. Michael Savage, a Jew whose real name is Michael Miner, disinfo agent. Michael Zarian alien galactic nonsense. Mike Rivero, another Jew distributing half-truths, disinfo. Project Camelot team, the all-inclusive couple, where everything goes. They are not selective in what they research. Red Ice Creations. Sadly, these guys haven't stood up to their truth-telling claims. They invite dodgy guests on such as Jordan Maxwell and Angelo Gage and other pseudo-truthers. We are all about getting the truth out to a broader audience, but their all-inclusiveness.
So I was thinking perhaps we shouldn't leave out the mainstream media, because they are 100% CIA controlled. Project Mockingbird. So they are the 100% shills controlled opposition. Not okay.
Is ridiculous. Henrik just doesn't challenge his guests when they come out with huge clangers. Lana stated something to the effect that speaking the truth isn't working. This is just unacceptable at this stage. We absolutely have to be accurate. I feel they, like others, have just got on the bandwagon by mentioning the Jews and then diverting us. I hope I am very wrong. Rob Rivero half-truther. Steve Kyle clear disinfo, steering people away from the Judaic angle. Stuart Swerdlow dodgy disinfo. charges extortionate fees to propagate half-truths. I think he may be Jewish.
So I think people need to realize the seriousness of this threat of people that want to depopulate Earth, 6 Jews that want to depopulate Earth, and others that I've listed, and how much power they have, and unite against them, expose it, and be on the lookout for their next depopulation method, whether it be a world war over Iran, North Korea, or some other crisis they are trying to create after the probable murder at rallies recently in Charlottesville. Though I think President Trump made some sensible statements, and of course that is important. It should make clear that also murder is crossing a line basically, but he did make clear now that the alt-right had a permit and the alt-left had no permit, and they were interfering with their peaceful demo. So let's continue the speech engine. Pretty nice weather in the Netherlands.
Ted Gunderson dodgy half-truth. In alignment with Alex Jones, the Young Turks total shills, playing the kosher fiddle. Webster Tarpley, another half-truther who just will not mention the magic J word, yet makes a career from his work. William Cooper. I feel Bill was caught up in so much disinformation in the early days, aliens/UFO nonsense, probably having been fed so much BS. Bill naturally propagated this as misinformation. He later tried to backtrack and correct this misinformation and get more accurate truth out, hence he got assassinated, shot on his porch, to shut him up, as he had a large following from his radio show. Zechariah Sutton propagates the Anunnaki myth. Politicians, organizations and channels which appear to be batting for the Khazarian camp. Al Jazeera, more half-truths. The British Constitution Group. They will never touch the J word. Antiwar.com, half-truths. Democracy Now!, more distraction. Why would we want democracy? Democracy is an invention of the JCN to control us, under the guise of giving us choice. More Orwellian distraction, more deception. George Galloway. He still propagates the 9/11 story, yet supposedly supports Muslims. Al Jazeera. More half-truths. Nature Ikatra. A group of Orthodox KJ trying to espouse that there is a definitive difference between Zionism and Judaism. Noam Chomsky. A KJ controlling the dissent. Norman Finkelstein. A KJ controlling the dissent. Ron Paul. http://ronpauldebunked.wordpress.com/ Russian television. More half-truth. Warrakange. Various groups, bang on about the problems but never mention the Jews behind the problems. See Luke Rudkowski. This does not mean the people at the lower levels are shills, they have just been hoodwinked. Beth Change Group, same as Warrakange. Vladimir Putin. https://diggerfortruth.wordpress.com/2013/06/puppet/putin/#more6660 http://www.prest.r/details/2012/07/22/25213/Putin seals Russia's membership into Go/. So long as we truthers continue to avoid telling the whole truth and not get to the root cause of this agenda, which means exposing the Jewish hegemony, they will continue to get away with their crimes and we will continue to suffer within their Jew world order.
Well, thanks for making this list. Of course, it's important if these people are trying to prevent real resistance to their depopulation, and people that want to depopulate you are your enemy in reality. And because of the brain control, directed energy weapon torture, and misinformation, it's very hard to find the truth about certain matters sometimes, but not impossible. So I'm always hunting for what is most important, the most important data, information, intel, whatever you want to call it. Also to make a better timeline for myself and for all people that have not tortured me, that are not accomplices to depopulating Earth, which are on your side. If you are with the people they are trying to exterminate, these 93% of the world's global population people. And most people don't want to die for a global government, for the Earth, or for anyone or anything else. That's because of evolution. Everybody was created, formed by evolution in reality. And that's scientifically proven. So there's no discussion about that. The rest of the broadcast may be less of a real broadcast. Perhaps I will take a break. So then I can do another broadcast in a couple of minutes. So I can think of a subject. So for now we temporarily halt this broadcast for universal peace. Single ladies are welcome. For the free shields and massage to smoke a peace pipe together or sit on the balcony and drink some pineapple coconut juice. And remember to like and subscribe and unite against the people poisoning you, all the Jesuits and Masons that have infiltrated your government, that want to destroy countries like the US in violation of the Constitution and create a global government, rather impose that after depopulating the Earth, which is illegal as well, because killing one person is illegal already. So in reality they are not above the law, but they control the judges with the death ray, with directed energy weapons. So if you want anything done, you'll have to do it yourself, and perhaps it's best to do it alone, etc. For a better timeline for humanity. And never get caught, that's the only rule they have. So, universal peace now. Make love, go AWOL, massage each other. It's safest, and have fun. Breathe, hydrate, masturbate. Hydrate, breathe, masturbate. Okay. See you in my next broadcast. Universal peace now.